to the Cinementalists. Noun, plural. Definition, those whose love for movies runs so deep, they can't help but do a podcast about them. Hosted by Colton Robertson and Joseph George. Hello everybody and welcome in to the Cinementalists, where today we kick off a new month here in March, celebrating or, taking a look at some secret societies. Definitely not a lot of celebrating gonna go down. But we're gonna kick it off here with They Live, originally released on November 4th, 1988. Written for the screen by a man credited as Frank Armitage, which is the same name as Keith David's character here. That is a pseudonym assumed by the director of the film, John Carpenter. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And I don't know much behind the scenes beyond the fact that Frank Armitage, the man credited with writing this movie, is actually John Carpenter. I don't know why he made that decision. I think it's kind of funny. Maybe it plays into the whole, dual identity. He's even name dropped. He's even name dropped in this movie. John Carpenter is, which I think is funny. And he's directed one of
them. This is his way of coming out.
Yeah, he's letting us know that this is the deal. Now, John Carpenter's chill as fuck, bro. No, but this was, I think this was a third or fourth viewing, maybe, for me, here with They Live. It was a first viewing for you, though. How are you feeling?
Oh, man. Yeah, I've never been disappointed with John Carpenter. Halloween, that's been a staple for a while. I mean, it's like childhood growing up with that. But this is much more up my alley than Halloween. Like this just is. I didn't expect it to be so. Like the action was actually a lot more part of the movie than I thought. I thought it was
big time,
like the mystery of figuring it out. Yeah.
No. That's the thing too, is that it's fascinating how considering how heavily an action movie it is, it's fascinating just how much the mystery of it comes into play. Which is a little bit more than you'd think of a typical action movie, but definitely less than you'd want of a story like this. Like, there's definitely a more dramatic version of this movie that could be done excruciatingly well. And don't get me wrong, this is a really well done movie, and it nails exactly what it's going for. I love They Live, and I think it's one of John Carpenter's bests. And he's done a lot of incredible work. But yeah, I think it's fun how little it takes itself seriously. I like how much it knows itself. I love that it knows it has Roddy Piper, WWF legend, leading the film. Which at that point, he's a solid actor, more than solid enough. But he's playing tough guy wrestler. That's what he's doing. He's here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of bubblegum. You see,
that's wild. That is like, no way. This is the true origin.
This is the origin. This is the origin.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of crazy that something like there are certain moments in movies that catch their own life beyond the movie itself? And we've talked about it on several occasions, the way certain quotes blow up and you go, "Oh wait, that's what that's from." It happened with The Godfather. It happens with, The Dark Knight with, Harvey Dent talking about, you die here, you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That's another one. But this is a classic that I've always known. And when I watched this for the first time, I was like, there's no fucking way that's a line by John Carpenter recited by Roddy Piper. That's so fucking funny to me. And I think it's incredible. I mean, the fucking 10 to 15 minute fist fighting sequence between the two leads halfway through the movie is fucking hysterical. It just keeps fucking going. And that's why it keeps going because it thinks it's funny that it keeps going. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't just keep going for the sake of stage fighting. It's not just like, let's just keep doing this. No, it's absolutely fucking hilarious that they keep doing it. And John Carpenter is fully aware of how funny it is that they keep doing it. And I mean, not only that, but when you have a guy who is obviously as good at stage fighting as a WWF wrestler is going to be, why not fully act on it? And I fucking love that choice, man.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you see the fighting of, like, the policemen when they're beating up the priest and, like, the face of the rebellion,
the movement,
the guy kind of, and like that, you could obviously tell, like, they weren't throwing down. But like,
I promise Keith David is hitting Roddy Piper at points. Like,
well,
and that's the advantage of being with a WWF wrestler. And I keep saying WWF because that's when Roddy Piper wrestled, by the way, not because I don't know that it is now the WWE. But that I guarantee you, Roddy Piper is like, fucking hit me, like I know how to sell it. I know how to do this. Let's get it going, And I mean, because there's an infamous clip of Roddy Piper on. I doubt at the time was the Bill Maher show, but Bill Maher was, doing something with him, and interviewing him and poking fun at the fact that wrestling's fake, that it's a bunch of bullshit. And Bill Maher, notoriously piece of shit, and this is one of those things that's just kind of like, it's funny that this is one of my reference points for Bill Maher being a piece of shit, but it he's done a lot worse than this, but he pokes fun at Roddy Piper for saying that that wrestling's fake, and he's like, wrestling's fake, and Roddy Piper gets up and he shows him his scars from like surgeries he's had, and he cites Owen Hart. He's like, you gonna tell Owen Hart or his family that wrestling's fake, like he's like, it's real to us, it's real to me, and the crowd goes fucking nuts, and Roddy Piper is one of the people who has gotten to publicly on stage, on screen, son Bill Maher, which is always good. I love that. Yeah. So Roddy Piper, I mean, he's forever dope to me. Absolute legend. And this stumbling upon this movie a couple years back and being like, holy shit, I didn't know Roddy Piper was the lead in an actually generally really well received and acclaimed film. It's pretty fucking hilarious.
As the power rankings of WWE legends goes, I think Batista still has my number one spot. I love that guy. I think he just has the perfect blend of the both.
There's no doubt that Dave Batista, for me, is the best actor to ever come from wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But
John Cena or Roddy Piper?
John Cena? Cena. Roddy Piper is more in the vein of The Rock for me. In terms of, I'm playing the same guy, I'm doing this, and I haven't seen Roddy Piper in anything else. So that's where it leads me to go to the next criteria, which is this the best movie headlined by a WWE wrestler ever? You know what I'm saying? Like, Batista, he's been the lead in a few movies, but none of them are as good as They Live. John Cena has been the lead in a couple movies, but they're not as good as They Live. The Rock, The Rock actually might be where the competition comes in that
he's
regard.
Led a whole lot of movies, but
yes, he's done a lot. That's why I'm like, I think Roddy Piper might have that title here, the best movie ever headlined by a WWE wrestler, top billed by a WWE wrestler. I can't think of one that particularly comes close. I've got nostalgic classics that really do it for me from The Rock, but they're not as good as They Live, and I'd be lying if I said it was. And I think the closest John Cena has come to this point is probably the Suicide Squad, and that you can't make the argument he's headlining because of how incredible a cast it is. So and Batista, unfortunately, while he's in a laundry list of incredible movies, has never been the lead in one of those incredible movies like Dune or Dune 2 or Glass Onion or Blade Runner 2049, any of those. He's never been he's been the lead in a few things, but nothing as good as They Live. So just an interesting little tidbit for Roddy Piper there, is he might have sealed the deal there, which is cool.
And I mean, come on. We got within 10 minutes. It is a homeless community, but still we have a food gathering. Check mark. Let's fucking go. That was sick. And then before I really knew what was going on with the TV signal being cut in and out, and then the priest mouthing the words that are being said. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, hold it. What's the dynamic? Is he
controlling this?
Yeah.
What's he?
I'm like, at first I'm like, oh, maybe it's if you're so confident in your beliefs and you are preaching with utter confidence, it can actually, it has an effect.
Power.
Yeah, it's it is beaming out in every direction. And but then it is. I love that the alien all controlling signal, and maybe it is just for the city. Maybe I wonder if this at the very end. Is it worldwide that everyone is seeing these other beings, or is it just what city are we even in? Is it New York, or is this Cleveland?
No,
or I hear Cleveland.
It's definitely not New York. It's definitely a smaller market city, but it's not it's not San Francisco, it's not LA, it's not Chicago, it's not New York. It would be like Kansas City is kind of what I anticipate it would be. So you're kind of on par there with Cleveland, Indianapolis, something middle market is kind of what I anticipate for They Live as far as setting is concerned. But I kind of take this to be the first step, in unmasking. If a whole pretty decent sized city wakes up to it, and frankly, a pretty, very physically capable guy, but not very bright, if he was able to do that here, this city's gonna the city's gonna spread this shit like wildfire if this isn't a worldwide signal. So either way, it's either a worldwide signal or they're set and they're gonna fight back, and either way, I'm down. And I like that this movie actually has that revolutionary zeal to it, where we do actually have an underground movement that's meeting in secret and has to be, they're accused of being a terror cell. And they, they're opened fired upon, and all that at a secret gather. It's pretty prescient, I would say. There's even a line during the sort of banquet for the bootlicking traitorous humans, where the keynote speaker is like, by the year 2025, we will be fully embedded.
No.
No. And I was like, whoa. I was like, no. I was like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
At this point, I don't really know what to believe in anymore of where the world can go or what's going on. But man, it's everything that I watched before that was like, oh, well, that's just a movie. Obviously this is what movies are for, to get the crazy shit out. But then it's well, man, I guess these are the higher ups, and they are in the elite. They kind of know what is going on, and if you can't actually just say what's going on, but you somehow code it into your work a little bit, how often did that really happen?
Well, and that's the thing too, is that what I appreciate about this movie is that it frames the bootlicking traitorous humans who are willing to sell out their planet and betray their fellow man in the name of profit. What they're doing here is actually serving a cold alien god who is terraforming their planet too. But I think it's funny that it says that about real humans in real life who are just doing it for profit. You're so fucking ridiculous and evil. You know what I'm saying? You're so fucking ridiculous and evil that you would think you were doing this in service of something beyond yourself. You were being convinced to do this, or it's just, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna fight back? No, that's not all this is that you are in real life going, this is what's best for me, and I don't care who it hurts.
That is rough. Whenever you get down in the tunnels and it's just a bunch, who knows how many rooms are down there and how and then it's like I expected it to be all of the creatures, all like no humans at all down there. But then and then whenever most of them were actually human, like it was kind of I don't know what the mix was. I guess the camera kind of jumped around a little bit when it was showing the big
there's
room.
A pretty healthy. I think that banquet we kind of see is specifically for humans on their side. Like it's kind of like in here, you guys have reaped the benefits of what we've done here, and you will continue to do so. Your profit margins grew 36% within the last year, and they will keep growing.
And it's like, oh yeah,
it's despicable.
It's like, if you can just spawn, if we were the first, spawn 100,000 humans on Earth, no prior knowledge, just Earth and humans.
Right.
Not a single one of them, not one goes, oh, I need to hoard all of the monies, or what we call money. Like money doesn't even come into the mind, It's like it's such a like invention. Like it's weird to think of money as an invention, but it like truly is. Like and like to be so like it is necessary for the world we live in. Like now, just how many people we got going on.
Yeah, given that we've set up since we've set up such a system that is so integral to the livelihoods of everybody, it would be impossible to just remove the dollar and call it good.
We're in too deep, but at least to if it is your only it is your whole life, that is all you care about, is attaining more and more and more. Yeah, no, that like something's wrong with priorities there. I think you can still want to have more money and not necessarily be greedy, and just realizing that it is like necessary to live in the world in which we live. But like if it's just consuming, that's the problem there. And then these are just the ultimate disgusting people. And I do love how, off rip, he just starts firing. There's no question whether he's going to kill these people or not. He's like, nope, I'm taking your guns.
He's like, if I see one of you, you're fucking done. Like whenever he shoots the cop and he's like, you die like us. I love that line. I fucking love that line. It's so fucking funny, man. And that's the thing, is that like, it finds a balance of being extremely funny at times, especially like the ending is ludicrous and positively. And there's this weird balance where like, I think it's a really well done movie, but there are just so many flaws. It's riddled with shit that I do not understand. And I think it's ridiculous that it even goes with it. And the only reason it does is because it's an 80s movie, which is, fucking Roddy Piper's character being obsessed with Holly. Hilarious that he wants to save Holly. There is no tangible reason why he wants to save Holly. The last he saw her in this movie, she hit him on the head and he fell out of a window.
Down a fucking mountain, dude.
She thought he killed him.
That was her goal. Her goal was 100% to kill him. And like, even after she kind of realized like, well, as captors go, or as like being held hostage, this isn't the worst. He's actually kind of a nice guy. And then it's like, oh, he knows. Nope. Never mind. Insta kill. It's
and the moment where she blows Keith David's head off is fucking unhinged. I
know. Oh my god, I was so dude. I could not believe it. There were many times my jaw just dropped on the floor. That was like I'm like, oh my god. It felt like it was just so fast, and then you had to just move on to like everything. There's so many moving parts. I couldn't
casualty
really process
in a greater war,
it's
baby,
like,
and that does not work. That doesn't work at all if they don't immediately kill Roddy Piper too. Like the fact that they both die needs to happen. Or else it's like, dude, what are we doing here?
Like why? Why did you just off the man out of nowhere at the end? But the sacrifice was good. It was.
I like that they both die for the cause, which is and I still prefer that Keith David's character would have made it out because, like, he says multiple times that he's got, like, a wife and kids at home.
He's like, he tried so hard not to be involved. He was like, I can't, like,
he was willing to fist fight a professional wrestler for 10 fucking minutes over it.
Yes. Man, and just when you thought it was over, no. Because and like, but it is funny, Like I was laughing, like I was having a grand time with their fight. But like honestly, if you're in Roddy Piper's shoes, and you have those glasses, though, you have to get those on another person. You have to let someone else know. You're not going to be able to sleep or do anything until you just have to share that experience. And yeah, like I fully understand. He's
the
like,
fact that it took just beating the shit out of a guy that you want to be your only friend. And I love how fucking spent they are. Like for the next 10 minutes of the movie, they are fucking exhausted. They are completely and utterly beat, which is just incredible direction, really. Like it could have been so easy to just go, the fight happened and now they're going to the hotel. Yeah, they're beat up a little bit, but they're good. But they're like limping up the stairs and they're like dragging ass the whole time. Like, God fucking damn it. Like, I really wish that was easier because we've got a lot more ahead of us. And like, I don't know, man. I think that's just one of those perfect touches in a movie that is so, I mean, it's campy. It's campy as shit. And I think that it needs to be. I think it does a great job at steering fully into what it is and knowing exactly what it is. And it fires on every cylinder for me, man. I just have a blast watching it. And again, it's in no small part due to John Carpenter's direction. He's always tangible behind in the director's chair, behind the camera. I can tell John Carpenter's back there. It always works that way. But Roddy Piper does a great job in front of the camera, and I'm always going to love Keith David. I haven't given Keith David nearly enough props here.
That's a working man. I mean, I was scrolling through, like, I wanted to see, like, what he did before this, and the amount of time you have to spend scrolling through this man's filmography is insane. I mean, he just is, he's everything. And like he's all over the place. And I love that he's aged and Rick and Morty.
Now,
like
he's aged into being. I'd imagine over the last probably 10 to 15 years, there's a lot of animated stuff, a lot of series and
voice
movies.
Actor now.
Yeah, and it's fascinating that he kind of aged into that. And I wonder if it was because of, I don't know, previously, I don't want to call it pretension, but how some actors are like, I'm not a voice actor, I'm not going to voice act, that's just the way things work. And then that eventually changed and it started being like voice actors started getting shut out of work because actors started taking their fucking jobs, because they're famous and they were going to put asses in seats. But Keith David just happens to be a perfect middle ground where he has such a distinct voice, and he was a really successful working actor, but he wasn't a movie star or anything. I don't know. I like that over the last several years, you've seen him pop up in a ton of stuff. And if you haven't seen him, you've definitely heard him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was, he's just everywhere. I mean, dude is cashing checks left and right. He
recently put out an album. He released a music album for the first time, which is sick. When you got a voice like that, you can sing a little bit. There's something there. And he delivered. I did give it a listen. Very, very solid. Most recently, I think as far as live action on screen appearances I've seen him in most recently, I think Nope would be the last one.
Oh no shit.
He's Daniel Kaluuya's dad who looks up and gets gets a
name,
quarter in the eye.
Otis. Yeah, that's Otis, yes. Man, dang, okay. Yeah, okay. So I've seen him recently, not just heard. Okay,
I was like, that's very briefly, but it's a great great scene, and he's really good in it. Yeah, I love me some Keith David.
I thought for the longest time that another twist was going to come, that Roddy Piper was going to be one of them, and he didn't know it. And he was so into, or just, he grew up as a human, and he's just such human at heart, and he's gonna kill all these people. And then I thought the twist was gonna come, that like, oh, he's
someone
one of them.
showed him a
and
mirror
then, like,
while he was wearing wearing the
'Cause, like,
glasses. Yeah,
whenever they enter the fight, the rebellion, the church room, or wherever everyone's hanging out, their headquarters, they don't wear glasses. Oh, we're all human here. No worries. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, hold the phone. So like, he could still be, but like at this point, Keith David has already looked at him, and so like it was already like really out, like but like I don't know if he was keeping it from him, like do you immediately kill that man, or do you tell? I don't know, like that's I maybe
you
he
can
was
tell he
keeping it
doesn't know for sure. Yeah, keeping it tight to the chest.
But
no, yeah, that's a fun theory. That's a fun theory.
Yeah. Because there's no sequel, right? There's no like follow up of this.
They
thing.
Live. They Live is the end of They Live as a franchise, which is kind of crazy.
The fallout of this would be insane.
It would be. I mean, that's where the sci-fi action film comes in. We're getting an all-out war.
It's oh my god. It's not
or
like a zombie apocalypse. It's just. I mean, maybe the aliens actually just win. Like fuck. Maybe I didn't think
and
about
also
that.
maybe they don't win. Maybe they just go, "This is more trouble than it's worth. Let's dip." They're clearly lazy
peace.
pieces
They just
of shit.
They just hit their watch and dip out of there.
They're like, "Well, fuck this."
True. I mean,
we
there's
don't
that
got
one
time
room
for
you
a
could
fucking fight. Let's just go to a different planet.
Yeah, and even humans were going to different planets too. Like they were just boop. Okay, that's already a thing that people are doing, and it's like, fuck, man. Like, I'm gonna be so pissed if there's just an underground tunnel system, rooms like this, and like we actually have this shit on lock, and you just have to become the elite to know, and you got into blah blah.
There's
blah.
all sorts of stuff like that kills me. I don't know if you've been online. This is, I mean, very, very excruciatingly tangentially related to They Live. Like, there's no connect here. But just speaking of like conspiracy theories in real life that people think are possible if you have enough money, and I have no doubt that it we're very close. But the human cloning stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen the last couple days, but Jim Carrey, and there's
what's going on, dude?
Yeah, there's a conspiracy theory that whoever the man who made an appearance in France in that makeup is either a clone, a defective clone, and obviously that has been ceaselessly made fun of online because why would a clone look different? Why would a clone look different? Why would a clone look different? That's fucking stupid. Why on earth would they trot a different looking clone out there and go, man, they won't tell.
Yeah.
So that's fucking stupid. And then there's another part of the theory that there's some sort of makeup artist who posed as Jim Carrey at that thing, and that's kind of what everyone's running with. Which again, that makeup artist could have just been cashing in on a moment that they have no part in. Yeah, I have no idea. But regardless, like there are really people out there who go and jump to, that's not Jim Carrey. And it's not someone acting like Jim Carrey. It's a bad clone of Jim Carrey. Like that's a real thing that people go to. And that's what makes movies like this possible, which I think is hilarious. They're like, there'll be people out there who go, there could be a tunnel system with aliens running around. And, I don't know. There might be. I don't fucking know.
I mean, like, apparently New York, like, all underneath it is just, like, massive. Like, there's just so many underground things and then I learned even Kansas City, we have that weird underground thing that is just supposedly like cheese storage or some and data storage, but no fucking shot. There's more. There's got to be more. I don't know. They're cooking something underground. And I don't like that the movie is also like, oh yeah, no. There's many more of them underground. They just can't breathe in the atmosphere, so they're just waiting until the day comes that they can breathe in the atmosphere. And then it hit me of like, marry and reproduce. Why would you want, humans to reproduce? They become bigger of a problem, but it's like, no. They'll die out faster if they reproduce more and more and more. But also, the end of the movie, like, shows that they do interbreed. And, like, maybe this is a way of becoming attuned to the atmosphere faster.
Oh, true.
And taking over. Yeah, you just eventually take over through birth. Like, you just fuck enough humans and boom.
I love how deep you dove into that. That's so fucking funny to me. I hadn't considered it all. That's why.
I mean, it's what, like, yeah, I don't know why my brain instantly goes to like, oh, okay, now place it in the real world. If real aliens were to do this, why would they do it? You know, what would be the reason of fucking? And it's like, well,
and I
maybe.
was like, the aliens are allegorical for Republicans.
Yeah, I mean, everything is yeah, I guess marry and reproduce. That is
marry and
pretty
reproduce.
conservative.
That's pretty conservative in ideology.
Very much.
But no, it's not just conservative. I don't want to undersell it as just conservative, because it's very anti-capitalist. It's very anti-consumerism more than anything, and the idea that the elite is basically just perfecting the science of advertising until we get to a point where we don't even need to leave our bed so we can order stuff to our doorstep. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to leave our house. We never have to go anywhere. We can just order stuff and it'll be there. You know, that's the goal. Ultimately, you don't have to go outside. You don't have to see what anything is actually going on. You can just bury your head in the sand and you'll have everything you ever need because it's so convenient. It's right there in the palm of your hand, you know?
It's like, I don't know. It is nice that I can go to a store and then like buy a thing that I want. That is nice and a nice option to have.
Yeah.
But it's like whenever it showed like a clothing store and the glasses said that it's like no self, or like autonomy, or like no what did it say for like the closed? It was like no choice. You know, you have no fashion statement.
No free thought.
And it's like, man, I guess like back in the day, people really had to make their own clothes. You know, like that was how it was done.
That was a thing at some point. Like, yes.
Yeah, and you actually I don't know. You had to just go through so many more things and personalize your own stuff, and it's so weird. Like, it's like, I'm so caught into it, you know. It's such just part of my life that I just buy things and it's whatever. But now it's like, I don't know. I'm thinking of every little store, every little sign, every little thing is like, how is this propaganda now? You know, like, and like, so I'm like, I mean, I think,
and that's what's funny too, is, you know, like, I love whenever something that you see online, that, I mean, happens everywhere, but, you know, Twitter is really, really conservative. Blue Sky is really, really excruciatingly liberal. And, you know, something that you'll find on both websites is someone being like, you know, they'll post about a genuinely terrible thing that's happening as far as the cobalt mining that happens, I believe, in the Congo in order to, you know, create your iPhone, you know, and you know, they'll post like boycott Apple, and then someone will reply, but you posted this with an iPhone, did you not? And then someone will reply, usually with a meme that's like, I disagree with this thing in society, and therefore I must abstain entirely from being a part of society. You know what I'm saying? Like, at some point things become too large. Like, there, you know, when it comes to the propaganda that you see all over the place, and, you know, a lot of it is so implicit that you grow really used to it and you don't think anything of it. And, you know, that's usually on some sort of level that, you know, you don't fully understand yet. You know, like, one of my go-to examples there is that I had no idea Watto was a Jewish stereotype in the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones until I was a little older and understood that it was fucked up. That was just Watto. But that's a Jewish stereotype, an anti-Semitic stereotype, which is, it's crazy that, like, there's stuff that's just so baked in that you don't have any concept of it until it is pointed out to you, until you put the goggles on and you see, that's what that is, you know? And I think that that's what this movie does a really good job of, you know, obviously oversimplifying, but simplifying to a very extreme degree, you know, going, if you put these goggles on and you see things for what they are in every capacity, you see things for what they are in every capacity, you know? And I love the choices the movie makes in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, maybe You know, this is one small team that cracked it. You know, I love like the little scientific, you know, all the different chemicals or whatever, and then making the like whatever they did. You know, massive breakthrough to you know whatever these glasses huge. Do. And I mean, I kind of wanted. I like that the end is actually like. Now the world is woken up and like you have to finish all the thoughts. But like I really thought we were going to get like the end of the world. Or like I mean I'm like, how does this not end in like everyone dying? I'm like this is it is like it has to be just all out war or like yeah. I guess I didn't think of the aliens just leaving, you know. I guess that is they could just see it as like, well, we fucked up, you know. We almost got it, but on to the next one,
shoot.
You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I don't want to think that there are an entire, you know, people walking among us that are different than us. But it's like every day that goes on, that becomes more and more of a possibility. It used to be like pure conspiracy, and it's like it's still low. But like, man, I don't know. Sometimes there's just some things that have been happening.
Well,
that is like
at a certain point, you know, what makes you, what amount of wealth, and what amount done, removes you from your humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a degree of things, you know, in the news right now, very prevalent to very successful people. Very, very wealthy people, very, very powerful people, all being included on the same list, you know? You know, and at what point is it best for us as a people to go, those aren't humans, you know, like that you've lost all touch with what makes a person good and right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it usually comes as a result of an exorbitant amount of money that removes you completely from the bounds of what community and civilization and normal people are like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe it is like the threshold is whenever you start to care for the money more than your fellow human, or
exactly,
or like
so you know, there's an unbelievable amount of people who are born into a situation where they care more about money than their fellow human. You know what I'm saying? Like, you speaking back to your like a marry and reproduce thing. You know, like at what point is it just, you know, they're quote unquote interbreeding, where they go and they mate and they spawn their own and they start to breathe their own air and they're starting to feel they're acclimating more and more. And how far removed of that is how much is that just old money? You know what I'm saying? Like people born into old money who have no context of what real life is like.
It's like an extra level of Nepo baby. It's like an alien Nepo baby. Like, what do you even call that? Or what even dynamic are we working with there?
This is a really great movie to discuss when an edible hit about 20 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? This is a perfect movie to discuss when an edible hit about 20 minutes ago, and you know some stuff, but you're not that smart. You know, like that's exactly where that's where I live, baby.
There's a name for this. I always forget it, but
flow state?
There's a trend. No, there's like an initial increase where you think you know a lot of information, but then you dive deep into like the true weeds of it, and you realize you actually didn't know anything at all, and then you slowly build up the knowledge to get to the point where you thought you knew everything, sort of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm definitely still in that.
It's like being a Bob Dylan fan. You've heard 10 Bob Dylan songs and you go, man, this guy is one of the greatest artists of all time. You listen to 100 Bob Dylan songs and you go, does this guy kind of suck? And then you listen to 1,000 Bob Dylan songs and you go, never mind, this guy rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's exactly like that. Yeah. Yeah. It comes back around, baby.
Yeah. But it's, this movie got me in many different modes. I mean, it was like I was just having a blast. I was theory going. I mean, it is in the sci-fi vein. I love the revolution spirit is there. Community food gathering.
It's got the juice.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, damn, like how it is honestly impressive. It's taken me this long to to get here. It's just, but that's the sheer number of movies that are out there. This is such a, I told you that it's like such a Joe movie, that this is like, I don't know how to really describe what a Joe movie necessarily is, but it's just a feeling I have, and this is one of them.
This is a Joe movie. Yeah,
this 100%. Goes in that list. And yeah, so like starting the month off, I don't think you could have really gone like a better. It was just such a different switch up. It was pretty heavy last month. Like it was good. Yeah, very good.
A lot of real shit.
Yeah, a very nice in palate cleanser seems like derogatory or negative, like for it's not just a palate cleanser. It did that, and then it just switched gears entirely. It was just a whole different ball game that we entered.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it
absolutely. And that's kind of how we're sandwiching this month here for the Secret Society coverage, as our next 2 weeks are much more serious real world stuff, as the next week is a white supremacist secret society, and then Eyes Wide Shut is a sex cult secret society. So we got a healthy dose of a middle ground there for our real life one. So that's great.
I mean, I said like this could be John Carpenter. He's in the elite. Maybe he's putting some subliminal messages, but Kubrick. That's what that man does. I'm kind of convinced that man knew more than
Kubrick,
the average person.
Go into Eyes Wide Shut with this knowledge. Kubrick died 2 days after the final cut of Eyes Wide Shut was complete.
Yeah. This is no. It's not okay.
And we'll have conspiracy theories abound. It is what it is. But we will get into much more serious shit there with One Battle After Another. And how much more serious can we get than talking about what we talked about? But as far as how the movie handles it, One Battle After Another and Eyes Wide Shut, and we will then end the month with a very light version of it with Hot Fuzz, which is super super funny. And it doesn't even have as much real world messaging as this one does, not even by not by a country fucking mile. But it's so much fun, and incredible slate that we've set up for ourselves here with They Live, One Battle After Another, Eyes Wide Shut, and Hot Fuzz. Secret Societies was just a great idea. I'm so happy with it. But yeah, man. What I love about They Live here is how simple it is. How tight a 90 it is. I mean, it's what we're sitting at 93 minutes, and it's a fucking breeze. It flies by you. And, that's in no small part due to the fact that it takes the time to breathe through I think it takes a lot of time at the beginning to breathe with Roddy Piper's character before he discovers anything. That's about 30 minutes. It builds everything for about 30 minutes. It takes another 30 minutes before Keith David is fully on his side. And then it takes 30 minutes before they defeat the threat. Like that's an easy, simple 3-act structure, and it's so fucking good, man. So, and that's what makes it incredibly fun. That's what also makes it a movie that's hard to talk about for more than 45 to 50 minutes on a personal note.
True. I did find one thing on the trivia that is crazy. I thought it was actually Roddy Piper himself who came up with the line, I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. And he came up with it, written in his notebook as a potential verbal bit for his wrestling career.
That's 100%. Yeah. I was like, I believe that fully because it sounds like wrestling promo. Like it sounds like like he ran into the ring, grabbed the mic from somebody, and went, "I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass." And then he pauses, he looks at the crowd. And he goes, "And I'm all out of bubblegum." And the crowd pops, like it's 100%. That makes 1,000,000,000% sense. Wow. Which is why I think the wrestlers who make it to the top of their game and, specifically then and to a degree the last 15 years, John Cena, Batista, The Rock, obviously, the amount of stage presence you have to possess and the amount of ability you have to think on your feet and go with stuff and really make things happen, it's really incredible, some of the stuff that they pull off. And I used to always kind of roll my eyes at WWE calling itself like the most electrifying thing in sports entertainment. Sports entertainment. I was like, that's such a stupid way to refer to yourself, but it's spot on. You know, like the older I get, the more I age into realizing, yeah, that's exactly what wrestling is. AEW and WWE and all that good stuff. AEW seems to be in a much cooler spot at the moment. But I don't know. I don't keep up with any of it anymore, unfortunately. But
they put their body on the line in a different way. Like it is like an unseen. Like you see John Cena nowadays. Like you see videos of him like getting out of his car or like and it's like it's like tough for him just to do normal kind of things, which is insane. Seeing him in like Peacemaker or something new, where it's like you have no idea that he's like that kind of hurt or all, like it doesn't doesn't come through. All out. And like these guys, he falls down a mountain, he's walking as if he's hurt, and I think like he can just do this walk better than most people because he's done it. Yeah, he's done this shit before. Like, and so I think like there is like they are acting, but like a lot of it is like they do say like, no, hit me, or like actually slap me. Like it helps me sell it better, or like
it
so
does.
Like I mean
it does. Yeah. Well, and that's I'll never forget when I was a big wrestling fan when I was like same age as every other boy who becomes a big wrestling fan, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, that sort of range, preteen range. I remember being a huge wrestling fan, and there was a day when I was probably 10 that Chris Jericho did an event, like a meet and greet signing thing at the Independence Center Hot Topic.
Wow, Chris Jericho. No
Chris Jericho.
way.
And I went with my dad, and I got like a Topps WWE trading card of Chris Jericho signed. He also signed a shirt I had at the time. And frankly, I feel bad about this. I have no idea where either of those things are now.
I mean, as far as WWE people, Chris Jericho, he had his time, but no.
He had his time. No, I liked, and that's the thing is at the time I didn't like Chris Jericho a lot.
Yeah.
Because Chris Jericho was a heel at the time. When I was that age, Chris Jericho was a bad guy. So when I met Chris Jericho, he was incredibly kind, and it blew me out of the water. Again, I was like 9 or 10. Again, but it was when I realized like, oh, you are really acting. I was like, you're like,
oh, you're not a bad guy.
You aren't a bad, and you might be a bad guy, but you aren't a bad guy the way you're a bad guy in WWE. You're a fucking villain in WWE. Like when you're wrestling, I think you are an evil man. You know what I'm saying? And then I met him, and we were only supposed to get one thing signed, and I gave him that card, and he's like, you want me to sign your shirt? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I was again 9, 10. I was like, can you do that? They only said one, and he was like, absolutely, and I was like, like I remember being like, holy shit, that's real as fuck. That's so sweet of him. And I was like, you are not at all. You're not about to put me in the walls of Jericho at all. You are not going to hit me with a code breaker. So. It's one of those things that like wrestling is so fascinating for the general just way it consumes the performer. Like I love one of my favorite things online is when Dwayne Johnson is back in WWE, because everything he posts is in whatever character he is at the time in WWE. Like when he was a heel, he was fucking mean on the internet. It was so funny, because like that's who he is at that time. And everything he does is going to be looked at through the lens of a WWE fan. Like that's how, like he can't be online being like, oh, it's all a game. It's fun. Like, nah, whatever, but no, when he's online, he is the villain version of The Rock, which I think is so funny.
I don't know. Illusion.
I admire the shit out of wrestlers, man, and there's a lot of them that have proven to be pieces of shit, but a lot of the good ones seem cool as fuck.
I would not have thought that, if you just asked me out of the blue, what's the best, led by a WWE superstar movie? What is that, Where would my mind immediately goes to probably Batista, and then I'm like, well, yeah, he hasn't led enough, and then I'm like, yeah, it's probably The Rock, but I don't even. I guess.
I mean, you take
Roddy Piper just
a
before
list.
my time. But
yeah,
I mean,
you take a list of the greatest movies starring a WWE wrestler. You're looking at the top 7 being Dave Bautista roles. You know what I'm saying? Like they are. He's just been in such an abundant. He's had such an abundantly impressive filmography so far that I have a tough time going a different direction there. And 7 might be a stretch because They Live is one of the things that causes a problem there. But yeah, I
this is strong.
You know, a lot of people would argue Southland Tales. Dwayne Johnson, great movie. Also, I will not undersell that movie. I love it, but it's no They Live.
Yeah, I can't really point to any Rock movie that would be up here because like this is even like having fun and fully aware of it. So it's like The Rock, he plays like the same character, but like you kind of. Roddy Piper, you kind of get that with Roddy Piper as well, even though he doesn't have the career that like The Rock had. It's just like this is the guy that he would play. Like I don't like it is kind of whatever. So they're doing the same thing, but this is I don't know, like just kind of better than any Rock movie I can think of. I'm trying to like pull one out, but I think this one just beats them all. There hasn't been one. So, I mean, Batista, I mean, I love me some Guardians. I love me Glass Onion. You know, I'm not, it's going to be hard to, like, say it like, beats
Dune 1 and 2.
You know, like, so, like, I mean, that's tough. But, no, as far as, like, just it being in the lead actor role, I don't think it is close for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm, like, missing one.
I know. It feels wrong. Like he's been in so many movies that it's.
I mean, and I can think of ones that Batista has led that I'm like I'm pleased with, but not on the level that I am They Live. Like I liked Killer's Game, which came out a couple years ago. He's supposed to be leading a rom-com soon, which I'm extremely excited for. Yeah, there's nothing that stands up to They Live quite. Like, am I forgetting a John Cena one? But I don't, if I'm like this, I'm like this or Peacemaker, it's a different ballgame entirely, TV versus movies. But, I do give the edge to Peacemaker there. It's such a good show. And I would never in a million years imagined I would have said that the first time I watched They Live, because it would have been prior to Peacemaker coming out. I'd have been like, there's no fucking way I like Peacemaker more than I like They Live, but it's that good. The Rock, I'm like Southland Tales, Game Plan.
Yeah, like, I mean,
a couple Fast and Furious movies, but like,
I guess Moana might be but that's like kind of a cheat.
I still wouldn't define him as the lead. I still wouldn't define him as the lead in that movie, though.
True.
He's definitely, he's more the Keith David there, like if we're comparing it to this movie. That's why I'm like, it's tough to, the same as, Drax or, and a lot of Batista's biggest roles.
Oh, I guess some people are pretty big in the Fast and Furious, but I don't think that's another ensemble.
He's not a lead. Yeah, I'm like the ones that he's a lead. The one he's a lead in is the universally panned one, Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, and no, I'm taking They Live. I'm taking They Live all day. Everything that's there. Wow, who would have thought? Roddy Piper. Honestly, I can't. I never even heard of Roddy Piper before this movie. So like I haven't even heard the name, which this guy. Like I feel like I'm usually in the know of like I don't know OGs, but like no, I'm surprised. Like this, I didn't really know of his career at all. So he was just
Roddy Piper was a pimp. He wore a kilt all the time, which is kind of like he wrestled in a kilt, which is fucking badass. Damn. At least that's how he did promo. He might not have wrestled in it, but that was definitely how he presented. He wore his shirts were like white with like red trim around the collar and arms or at the end of the sleeves, and he had like that hot rod sort of font across his chest. Dude's. I mean, he's pulling up and performing.
Wow, dang. Yeah, it's just and these. I mean. They're just so ripped on a different level. Like it's just insane.
When he's doing the construction work with his shirt off, I'm like, what on fucking earth? Like people don't look like that, dude. That's insane.
This is
like compared to dudes now, that looks like that's like a relatively normal guy. You know, as far as the guys wrestling now, there are some fucking mammoth, unbelievable physiques as far as wrestlers go now. But this is unbelievable in and of itself, and it's more human. Like I would believe that Roddy Piper never did steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nowadays, it's like it's clear they are pumping.
Yeah, you're doing steroids.
They are beyond the human limit. But like he is like Roddy Piper might be the human limit. Like this is like if he's any bigger than this, I think he's done steroids. But he is like just at the max where he's it's gnarly.
I'm like I can see how that is humanly possible. I'm like if I worked hard enough, I could look like that. There are certain dudes where I'm like I will never look like that in a million fucking years unless I do steroids. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I mean that's just. I wonder the freaking caloric intake of these guys, like just how much you got to eat, because I mean it's got to come from somewhere.
I mean, how much do you have to eat, and then how much do you have to turn what you eat into the right stuff? You know, like that's the amount of work that takes is insane. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, steroids are a cheat code that are going to make you bigger, but you're not going to get bigger unless you do stuff to get bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do still have to work to a certain extent in order to make steroids worth it, which is interesting. Not that they're ever worth it. I don't condone using steroids.
Yes.
But no, that's fascinating that like if I was to just take steroids, they wouldn't do fucking anything to me besides make me angry. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't work out nearly enough for them to benefit me in that regard. But these dudes who consistently work out or consistently hit tanks, all of a sudden hit more tanks. Shout out Barry Bonds, greatest hitter of all time.
Yeah, and I mean, you said like the construction scene is really like when I mean, yeah, it's the one time where I think it is on full display of just like, all right, let's just show this man,
my man's glistening,
just going, and like Keith David even looks at him and he's like, holy shit. He goes to work like even harder after seeing him. He's like, okay, no, I gotta all right, you know what? I gotta kick it into gear.
Keith David's in pretty good shape too. That's what's crazy is like that's how impressive Roddy Piper is here. During their fight, there's something Keith David does where I'm like, God damn, this man's strong. It's whenever he straight up lifts Roddy Piper into the air like a baby, like he swoops up under his legs and then he lifts him above his head and he drops him. And I'm like, that's not easy. That's an impressive feat of strength, and obviously Roddy Piper gets to hit a couple suplexes and stuff, which is always fun. But no, dude, I'm a sucker for it. I'm just a sucker for it.
Yeah. This was awesome. I'm honestly surprised there's not a sequel. I thought like the way they ended it, it almost was like
this is
clear,
just the beginning.
But man, I kind of thought It's just John Carpenter. It seemed like, was this a success? I guess when this came out, was this
as far as box office is concerned, I don't know. I mean, it was certainly not the last time John Carpenter worked. You know what I'm saying? Like the man stayed booked and busy.
Yeah, he already released The Thing, and that was
that would have been 1980. Right? Halloween was 1978. Big Trouble in Little China probably would have been his last movie before this. No, The Prince of Darkness would have been. That's cool. Prince of Darkness is a gnarly movie too. He would go on to make In the Mouth of Madness starring Sam Neill. That's a really good fucking movie. One of his earliest movies I love is Assault on Precinct 13. That's gnarly. I'm looking at his slate of films, and as far as what he did post They Live, pretty universally not as well received as what he did prior to They Live, which I think is interesting. Not sure why that is.
He got his final message out. He's like, I can't hold it in any longer. This is what I've been trying to say for so long, guys, but quietly, through the grapevine. Here it is, just flat out. I mean, like, some of the things were like, why did there have to be a green laser going off shooting into space whenever they destroyed the satellite, showing
Pretty
like
funny.
I don't know, is that their home planet? Like what a weird detail to just include, you know? Like it could have just exploded and then everyone see the faces and like it plays the exactly the same. But adding that little green beam is like, are you? I don't know. That's like that. It's just it's weird. It's like if this is coming from, you know, I don't truly believe this is the world we live in. But it's like, you know, that 1% of my conspiracy brain. That's like, man, it's not that crazily far off from what could actually be happening. And yeah, I'd no. I'm on the opposite side of, well, if the aliens are here and there's nothing you can do about it, then make as much money as possible. I'm saying, well, if they are here and there's nothing we can do about it, I'm going to be as much of a human as I can as possible. And just and go, I don't know, experience,
keep loving my fellow man.
Yeah. And but man, no, a sick well, I need to start. I feel like maybe I already have started a Joe kind of movie list on
Joe Core,
Letterboxd, but yeah, the Joe Core. Yes, I do have a Joe. That's right. Okay, this is.
I feel like we brought it up before.
Yes.
I can't remember what the last one would have been that we did that for, but
this is definitely Joe Core 100. I forgot I already named it. I guess. Where really is it that old? Did I just not name it?
Or did we just talk about it and then you never made it? That's a possibility as well.
Yeah, I think the list isn't that exhaustive. I guess it's very very few. But man, this was an awesome way to start it off. Off the month. It's a
beautiful way to start the month. Yeah. I already teased what we've got coming the rest of the month. But beyond that, we also have a show called Geek With Me, which, given the performance of March so far, I know we're only a week in, but Geek With Me is doing very, very well, and we haven't released an episode yet, and we don't really plan to until Daredevil Born Again starts at the end of the month. So it's making me think that maybe we ought to go dip into the bag and get us a Geek With Me episode in here soon, just to feed the people. It's got a little pop in the wake of Dunk and Egg, Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which we covered. If you're interested in that, so. We got stuff to look forward to for sure. You know, May is just around the corner. You know, there's Star Wars Day and Mandalorian and Grogu is coming back, and we're going to be covering Maul Shadow Lord, and we're going to be covering Daredevil Born Again, like I said. So we got a couple few full months coming up, and I'm very excited for that. But we also recently just concluded a month ago and some change. It just keeps getting further away.
God.
Fire Pod with Me, a Twin Peaks podcast friendly to the first-time viewer and the rewatcher alike. I rewatched it, and Joe watched Twin Peaks for the first time. It became one of his favorite shows of all time as we watched it together week by week by week by week, and you can do the same. Watch it and listen to us alongside it. You don't even have to wait a week for every episode like Joe did. It took him nearly a year to watch the whole thing. You could get that thing done in a couple of weeks, and you'll have every episode at your disposal. Go ahead and check it out. But yeah, let's rate They Live on a scale of 1 to 10. How are you feeling?
Well, I did say it's Joe Core. I mean, as far as like I'm concerned, it is like. So it should okay. Well, I guess where I was going with that before my brain just short circuited was it should be.
I thought maybe my phone cut out. That's
I completely just absolutely fried. But it should be a 10. But there's some I feel remiss to say like, man, is this idea could this idea be like capitalized on in a different way that I would like maybe better
could. And that's the thing is that like I think just because a movie feels made for you doesn't mean that it's automatically a perfect movie, which is pretty. I've got a couple of those. Like I don't think The French Dispatch is a perfect 10 as far as like when I think about the degree of like what it takes to be just like, oh, that's resonant on every regard. It's as perfect as a movie can get, and I see no flaws here. I still don't know that The French Dispatch quite even gets to be a 10, even though I think that is a quintessential Colton Core movie.
I mean, Tron Legacy, I recognize. Yeah, that's not cinema, Like we're not on that level, but goddamn, I'd be, that's a 10 on my scale. But yeah, it's just like a I don't know how low, like I feel like I have to meet in the middle, like kind of a thing where I give it the like a normal rating as just a movie, and then kind of meet it wherever that lands to kind of average it out with a 10, and that's where I go. So I think
about
like
a 9 then.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not just good. It is like there are. Like it is still John Carpenter. Like I'm not like watching a movie that's just terribly, not put together willy nilly. Like he's doing like he's got skill. So like yeah, I'm not saying that I wasn't pleased. Yeah, I think like the last 9 we gave. Let's see, Frankenstein. I gave a 9. You gave a 9.25. But a 91, almost a 9, the closest one.
Yeah.
But I think I'm kind of on the same level. There.
I could see that. I don't know if it's just a recency bias thing, but I'm pretty high on Frankenstein, so it's tough for me to. I wasn't arriving at a 9.25 anyway. I think a 9 was my ceiling, and I think I'm actually going to balance it out in the opposite direction. I think I'm actually going to go an 8.75 for They Live. I really really enjoy it. I think it is a great fucking time. But there's things that as I'm watching it, I just can't, like the Holly Thompson stuff where he's like, "Where's Holly?" So fucking funny to me because it's absolutely ridiculous that he is in any way
lover that threw me out a window.
There's not even anything there whenever they're together. They're not flirtatious. They're not romantic. He just insists on going back for her, which I think is hilarious.
Yep. It's maybe the rebellion, just like seeing her and she's for the cause, but like she was clearly against it. Whenever she threw him out the window, like, so like
I can't give this a 9, but it's so awesome in every other regard that I got to get as close as we're possibly capable of. So I'm gonna go 8.75.
It worked out. This is saying something. It's an 8. There's the repeating forever. That's a signal. The signal blocker
movie.
And no way. Let's go. Okay, yes, it's fucking. Yes. It's doing the thing. It's working.
The math is mathing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we got we got some math to do ourselves. We're going to tally up some votes because next Monday we are doing our Cinementalists Cinema Awards. I'm very, very excited. Amongst the movies nominated for several things, one battle after another, which we'll be covering next Friday. But we got a full slate of awards to announce on Monday. We're going to be doing Best Actor, Best Actress. I'm actually going to lump those into one category. Best Lead Performer, which I'm very excited about doing. Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress, Picture, Screenplay, Original and Adapted, Director, Cinematography, Editing, Score, Sound, VFX, Makeup and Hairstyling, Costumes, all the good stuff. All the good stuff. We're going to be talking that on Monday for 2025 films ahead of the Oscars, which we will also be having an Oscars reaction show here in a couple weeks' time, Monday, May 16th. So those are the other two things that I didn't plug earlier for what's to come, but that's what we've got coming here on the Cinementalists. So Cinementalists Cinema Awards on Monday. Nominees should be announced on TikTok by now, and we'll be announcing winners on Monday. So very excited for that. So check that out. But with that, I think we can conclude this episode. I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, fuck ice.